विश्राम की स्थिति में आ जाएं। पैरों की उंगलियों से शुरू करें। अपना ध्यान पैरों की उंगलियों पर लाएं और यह महसूस करें कि आपके पैरों की उंगलियां ढीली पड़ रही हैं। आपकी पैरों की उंगलियां इतनी ज़्यादा शिथिल, रिलैक्स हो रही हैं, उसका अनुभव कर रही हैं जितनी पहले कभी नहीं थी। अब आप अपने पैर पर ध्यान दें और उन्हें पूरी तरह शिथिल होने दें। अपने टखनों पर ध्यान दें। महसूस करें कि सारा तनाव टखनों को छूकर जा रहा है। विश्राम की स्थिति में आ जाएं। सांस अंदर लें और सांस बाहर छोड़ें। अब आप अपना ध्यान पिंडलियों पर लाएं और उन्हें भी ढीला होते हुए महसूस करें। हल्के से सांस लें, फिर सांस बाहर निकालें और विश्राम की स्थिति में आ जाएं। अब अपना ध्यान अपनी जांघों पर लाएं। महसूस करें कि वह भी शिथिल हो रही हैं। अब उंगलियों से लेकर पूरा आपकी पूरी टांगें शिथिल हो गई हैं। धीरे धीरे सांस लें और तनाव को जाने दें। अब आप अपना ध्यान कूल्हे पर लाएं और आपने जो भी तनाव वहाँ पर जमा कर रखा है उसे शिथिल होने दें। आपकी पूरी टांगें रिलैक्स हो गई हैं, शिथिल हो गई हैं। अब आप आराम की स्थिति में आएं। धीरे धीरे सांस लें और तनाव को जाने दें। अब अपना ध्यान पेट पर लाएं और महसूस करें कि आपके पेट की मांसपेशियां शिथिल हो रही हैं और अब तनाव रहित हो जाएं। सांस लें, सांस बाहर छोड़ें और आराम की स्थिति में आ जाएं। अब छाती पर ध्यान दें महसूस करें कि अब छाती पूरी तरह से शिथिल हो रही है। अपना ध्यान पीठ के निचले हिस्से में लाएं और महसूस करें कि पीठ के निचले हिस्से में सारा तनाव दूर हो रहा है। पीठ के ऊपर हिस्से पर अपना ध्यान ले जाएं और शांति से धीरे धीरे सांस लें। पीठ के निचले हिस्से में जमे हुए सारे तनाव को जाने दें और आराम की स्थिति में आ जाएं। अब पीठ के ऊपरी भाग पर आएं और वहाँ जो भी तनाव है उसे जाने दें और आराम की स्थिति में आ जाएं। अब आपकी पीठ पूरी तरह से शिथिल है, रिलैक्स हो गई है। अब आप अपना ध्यान अपने हाथों की उंगलियों की पोरों पर लाएं। हाथों की उंगलियां शिथिल करें और फिर अपने हाथों को शिथिल हो जाने दें। आपकी बाहों का निचला हिस्सा अब शिथिल हो रहा है और आपकी बाहों का ऊपरी हिस्सा भी पूरी तरह रिलैक्स शिथिल हो रहा है। सांस लें और सांस बाहर छोड़ें। तनाव को जाने दें। अब कंधों को शिथिल करें। ये महसूस करें कि सारा तनाव पिघल रहा है। गर्दन की मांसपेशियों में कोई भी अकड़न हो उसे ढीला करते हुए अपनी गर्दन को शिथिल होने दें। अब आप अपना ध्यान चेहरे पर लाएं और शिथिल हो जाएं। आपका जबड़ा, होठ शिथिल हो रहे हैं और आपकी आँखें हल्के से धीरे धीरे बंद हो रही हैं। अब तो पूरा विश्राम है। अब अपनी मन की ओर ध्यान दें। अंदर से पूरी तरह शिथिलता अनुभव करते हुए शांत भाव से धीरे धीरे सांस लें और अपने मन को शिथिल हो जाने दें। अब अपना ध्यान हृदय पर लाएं। अपने हृदय में पूरी तरह से शिथिल करते हुए ये महसूस करें कि दिव्य ज्योति, दिव्य प्रकाश आपके हृदय में है और थोड़ी देर के लिए वहीं बने रहें। ऐसे ही महसूस करते रहें। अपनी आँखें बंद रखें। हाँ, थोड़ी देर और वहीं बने रहें। Please remain. Please start meditation. That's all.
Namaste everyone. I was requested by Brother Satya, our Zonal Coordinator, to meet the elders because they don't know when they're going to kick the bucket. None of us know anyway. Babuji used to say, always be prepared for that last moment. Since we don't know when I'm going to kick the bucket, I must always be ready. One of the great qualities, one of the personal secretary of our Prime Minister was mentioning that on his desk you would never find any pending job. And this he has never seen, these officers, they have seen many ministers coming and going. And I also find similar approach by Babuji Maharaj. He said, lead your life in such a way that it's the last moment that you are going to breathe. And when such is the case, why would you leave any work unattended? You will finish everything. And if we recall our lifestyle, our past, which regrets do you have the most? I didn't do this, I could have done that, and I somehow could not do it. I should have done that, but something happened and I couldn't do it. Always responsibility we portray on someone, see, without taking that responsibility on our shoulders. We somehow blame others for our inabilities to complete our task. Remember what happens to you when you are doing your evening cleaning or morning meditations. Revisit the thoughts that you do gather during meditations. ये नहीं हुआ, ये पढ़ना था, ये नहीं पढ़ा मैंने, right? But if you had studied, if you had done what you had supposed to do, then you will be free from those thoughts at least. Before going to sleep also, sometimes I wake up in the middle of night and say, oh no, I forgot to do this. It's a common story with all of us. Completing, rather not completing our job very well. Some people complete them, but not very well. Rush, 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 and we say, okay, I did that. I met that person I was supposed to meet. I did my job. But imagine a preceptor giving you a sitting. Usko batai diya yaar sitting मैंने. How do you feel about that? When you overhear something like that, your preceptor telling his wife, वो आया था ना, उसको मैंने sitting देके भगा दिया. And if you overhear this conversation, what will go through your mind? That yeah, someone is treating me like a dirt. So we have to also understand that others do, even though you may not talk about usko nipta liya maine, lekin it will get reflected in your vibrations, in your sanskars. Lifestyle is like walking on a thin razor blade. You don't know when you'll be cut. So, leading a life of awareness soaked in remembrance of the Master, awareness that is full of love, awareness that is full of bhakti, awareness that demands nothing. Because, someone was telling me, remembrance करते रहते हैं, as if कोई काम करता है. Babuji says remembrance must lead you to love, and I feel that this love must rise further into deep reverence, immense respect, immense adoration for the person whom we love. That is bhakti. Without this karma yoga, even dhyan, people say dhyan yoga, but वही तो एक तरह का कर्म है ना. कर्म को ऐसा करना कि जैसे मैंने किया ही नहीं, that means it has no impressions on us. Let me explain this little in more detail. When you don't like something, कुछ काम पसंद नहीं है, और जब करना पड़ता है, तो उसका असर कैसा होता है? भारी पड़ जाता है ना. 5 minutes looks like 60 minutes. मान बोल दिया, बेटे तूने अभी तक ध्यान नहीं किया, चल बैठ. कान पकड़ के बैठा देती है. तब ध्यान कैसा होएगा? माँ पे ही ध्यान होगा ना, दिखा दूंगा उसको बाद में से. But when you love something and you do it on your own volition, time flies because you are soaked with interest, soaked with love. So, adding this spice of love, the bhakti, into our practice takes us to a next level. Otherwise, meditation itself can become a burden. And if that happens, it will be a tragedy. Lord Krishna's philosophy of Nishkam Karma or existing in this world like a lotus leaf in a dirty pond, untouched by its surrounding. It only means that whatsoever you do, don't be affected by it. You must rise above, you must transcend various things like my likes and my dislikes. Every time, whatsoever we do, there are likes and dislikes and something in between, very neutral about it. But this constant chatter is always there. Meditation, generally Daaji gives sittings for 25 minutes. आज 50 मिनट कर दिया. Chatter. I don't like it. ये कब खत्म होगा? Please, Babuji, help us. Tell him to stop the sitting. How many of you had this feeling? Raise your hands, please. Be honest with me, please. Thank you. तू तो बैठा ही का है, खड़ा खड़ा है, हाथ ऊंचा करता है. वॉलंटियर मेडिटेशन तो करता नहीं, हाथ ऊंचा कर दिया ऐसे. ये भी बड़ी मजाक की बात है. हाथ ऊंचा करो तो कर दिया, क्यों कहा वो जानता नहीं है. Anyway, so thank you. There were very few of you, but nothing is lost. Because whenever a deep cleaning happens, this is what we feel. Ye kab khatam hoga. If you go through it, you will see the end of the tunnel, such a beautiful state, you cannot explain in words. So simple thing is to surrender. Don't judge the sitting and conclude that I like or I dislike. It is what it is. Just observe, rather witness, make your entry in the diary and just forget about it. Often I have talked about enjoying the condition. And now I am talking absolutely different. In the context of how not to get so much bogged down with experiences. Because we need to move on. See, if you relish particular experience, you are somehow holding on to something. I like this experience. And often in the future sittings also you would expect that such an experience, I hope, may return one day. Nothing wrong with it, but we have to rise above it. See? That's why a lot of yogis in India could never go beyond Sahasradal Kamal, and they concluded that Sahasradal Kamal is everything, it is the ultimate samam bonam of your entire yogic practice. Because it is at this level one arrives at a state of Satchitanand, existence, consciousness, and Anandam. Anandam is of such an order that you somehow get lost in that Anandam. You no longer are interested in anything then. So you are mesmerized like a drug addict. Of course, the addiction of Satchidanand is much lighter. Nevertheless, you are still addicted. Babuji called such a state as, he describes in a very peculiar way. He says, just as children, they enjoy playing with toys. When you are youthful, romance, etc., these are your toys you play with. And a yogi plays with his consciousness. How is it different from toys? You must rise, Babuji says, beyond this Anandam, beyond this Satchit Anand. In fact, on another occasion, he had made a very laughable statement. किसी ने पूछा बाबूजी कैन यू डिस्क्राइब सच्चिदानंद क्या होता है, तो बाबूजी said it is like a worm relishing cow dung. कोई हंसता भी नहीं है. Maybe he didn't understand. तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है, मैं बंदर हूँ वो कैट है. तो बाबूजी ने कहा कि इट इज लाइक ए वर्म, कीड़ा जो काउ डंग में रह के काउ डंग को एंजॉय करता है, वैसे योगी आनंदम को एंजॉय करता है. कुछ फर्क नहीं है, कीड़ा जैसी हालत है कि. Then he says we have to go beyond. Into what? Finding what supports this consciousness. What is it that gives consciousness its character? How is that field of consciousness created? Who supports it? So we have to go there. So our purpose is very grand and very simple also. Keep on moving without being bogged down by our likes and dislikes. There is nothing wrong in liking something, but don't get glued with it. Oh, I love it. Okay, fine. You love it. Then what next? How many things would you possess in life? Suppose I had a lot of, shower of this rose petals today. As soon as I entered, they were throwing rose petals on the car. The fragrance was really, really so good, rose flower fragrance. I liked it. But then I say, oh, I should have a rose perfume. I should ask one of them to get it from Forest Essentials. Then there is a problem, see. Similar example Babuji gives, that if you are passing through a garden, every day you are passing through a garden to your workplace, and you happen to see a rose bush. You like a particular flower. Next day, it has bloomed so well, fully open. Third day, you will feel like going nearer to inhale the fragrance of it. And a day later, you might feel like, let me pluck it and take it home. So this is how we extend our likes and also dislikes. Like it. There is nothing wrong in saying, he is so good, she is so lovely. Nothing wrong with it. End the story there. Don't take it further. That applies to everything in life. So, doing this way, I think we will not be able to, rather we will remain free from samskars. And the need to do our evening cleaning will also drop off. So Sahaj Marg is all about teaching a lifestyle of leading a life exactly like that lotus leaf, unaffected by its surrounding. Thank you all for your listening. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer maybe 2-3 questions.
Check, hello. You can raise your hands if you have a question so that we can pass the mic.
You have a question? Acha. Oh, hello, namaste. Good to see you.
Namaste, Master. I just want to congratulate you for your Padma Bhushan. And I have a question. I just wanted to know how how do master like choose abhyasis? I've heard like many are called but few are chosen. Like how do you like discriminate between like, okay, now these people are ready to come into the system? And the second question that I've had is like, I've heard stories where like, many yogis in India, they have left their body consciously when they cross certain like, like points or like liberation. But that is not allowed in the system. In the system, I have never heard stories. Even the masters suffered through poverties and everything, but they left the bodies when the time was arrived. So I just wanted to understand why like leaving the body consciously is something not entertained in the system. I don't know, like I just wanted to understand your understanding of it. So yeah, thank you.
I have to first try to tell you. Because your question is on death and how to die consciously. Am I right?
Yes.
So, in one way, when we are meditating, what generally happens? There are a few things. One is, you are beginning meditation with an idea that source of divine light is in my heart, or the divine light is present in my heart. Okay. Next thing, some thoughts may come and disturb this very pious idea. It goes away in some cases. Then what happens? You lose awareness at some time. And then what happens later on? You become aware that I have lost my awareness. Right? And sometime in some sittings, you are so much lost that you have no awareness of losing the awareness. And somehow from nowhere you come back. Right? It happens to lots of us. And that is almost a kind of a temporary death. And when that happens, some abhyasis, they get so scared and they just get up like that and say, what happened to me? And you must have heard some women especially crying and shouting, screaming during meditations. They go just berserk somehow. There could be many other reasons also. So, consciousness, when it collapses within yourself, in yoga we call it a state of samadhi. But according to Babuji Maharaj, samadhi is just the first stepping stone. We have to go further beyond all that. Say. Samadhi, where you are losing your complete awareness at one moment, and where you are still having some level of awareness, that's the most beautiful thing that can happen to anyone. That is called Turiyatit state in Yoga Shastras. Now, when that awareness is also collapsing that you are lost, then you feel as if for a moment you are dead. So in a way, practicing meditation is a training somehow of dying consciously. At the moment of death, you have no fear then. You are always ready. If it comes tomorrow, why tomorrow? If it comes now, hallelujah, so be it. I am ready. Because there is no fear. And you have already experienced that collapsed state of samadhi, the consciousness. And death is not very different from it. In fact, death is a sudden explosion from that collapsed state of consciousness to enormous thing. It's like a small amount of water in a cup suddenly becomes a huge cloud occupying the whole sky. So yogi of that caliber somehow He's everywhere. His consciousness, His awareness is everywhere. It's the practice that can prepare us for such a moment. Any question? And next one? Yes, ma. Okay.
This youth is being kind of so much stress of studies and stuff. But how to stop the
Thoughts.
yeah.
Okay.
Like continuously, it's coming during the this meditation also, and the before I did. So this only.
How to make the mind rest. Or in a way you are asking your mind not to do its work. If mind is asking, I will not do the work, then that will be the tragedy, see. Right? But you are asking, right? I get the question, but where is this separation coming? Who is recognizing that mind is busy? Okay, who is that me that is questioning? You have to understand that. Second thing, Babuji's words again. He used to say, eyes are to see, nose is to smell, ears are to hear, and so is brain, our mind is to think. Don't try to stop it. Okay. But he would add one line, make sure that it thinks what you want it to think. You want it to think on the presence of divine light. That's the beginning. And we prayerfully wait that this thought of presence of divine light hopefully can turn into a divine experience, however temporary. Then a stage comes where you would like this experience to turn into becoming that experience. You see? You understand that much? Okay. And then a time comes when you have become, you feel so happy of achieving something. There is some sort of joy there. This Babuji says, it happens automatically that you transcend that into a state of nothingness, meaning you transcend the bliss. Okay. So this graduation or transcendence from thinking to feeling to experiencing to become the experience to anandam to nothingness. It's a gradual process. Have patience. Whenever I used to meditate in my earlier days, as a student also, sometimes I would say, oh, I will study this. These thoughts will keep coming in my mind. You better take this chapter, better read this chapter. And I would just grab that chapter and finish it off after the meditation. So I make a mental note of what it is trying to convey. So the messages from the mind are not useless. My friends started coming. Babuji के सामने बैठा हूँ and I'm thinking of her. See? It's like Tauba, Tauba, Bhagwan bachaye, and I was sweating from all over my body, see. I tell you the fact. And it bothered me so much. I was profusely sweating and then I was tightening my jaws so deeply. And then I opened my eyes and then closed. And then there was some relief. Then some understanding arose in my heart. Why am I fighting? He knows everything. He is the one who picked it up from the bottom of my consciousness, trying to take it out. Why must I interfere? Let him do whatsoever he wants to do. So then after this understanding saved all my meditations. The thoughts, they come because Master is working. But some thoughts which are created by us, we have to stop them somehow by attending to what it suggests. पहले का जो हो गया सो हो गया, उसको भूल जाओ. Mistakes are committed, you can't correct it anymore. If you did any mistake towards your parents, just say sorry. That should settle. I think it's not काफी है. Thank you.